Yo, yo, yo.
In half of a mile, keep right onto
Craccine19
West.
Your boy back. Give y'all a minute to trickle up in here. Just trying to play some music, man. And I think it's tripping. Anyway, let y'all trickle up in here. What I can do here. Damn it. Yo, what's good, folkers? Samzilla Gorilla, aka the definition. This is the definition of anarchy. Coming at y'all with another live. Just want to talk about a couple more things.
Right onto CA22
All right.
West.
Want to talk about a couple more things. You see the thumbnail. You see the not the thumbnail, but the title.
About 3 miles.
Yes, I will be getting into some things that Trump has said that people who support him should be giving him the side eye about. But of course, because they suffer from cult of personality disorder, they're not going to address it. They're not going to give it any serious thought because they stuck on stupid. All right, that's just, it's as simple and plain as that. Okay, simple and plain as that. It's an update for me. Okay, it's an update for me because in regards to this Tecate19, because I was operating under the assumption that it attacks, if it is what they say it is, that it's, it's a respiratory
in 2 miles
disease, right? It's a respiratory type disease. It's a respiratory virus that has an RNA thing going on, meaning having to do with oxygen and whatnot. And I was under the impression that it attaches itself to the lungs and this, that, and the third. And then when they started coming up with all these little different ailments that it causes, I was like, yo, how could this be when it is supposed to be this type of virus? But apparently it attaches itself to cells that have ACE2 receptors, ACE2 receptors, and those ACE2 receptors are present in, so this time I had to back up out my phone and re-enter YouTube because they buffer my shit. My shit is getting buffered. I don't know what the hell's going on
the route,
but
traffic.
I don't know if it's the ash in the air or whatever. Anyway, so the heart, the lungs, the intestines, and all this other shit have ACE2 receptors in it that the Tecate19 can attach itself to, which is why it allegedly affects those different systems in your body. So, yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say it is. That's what they say it does, and all this other shit. So, we know what's up, man. We know. Which is why they say it inflames the children's organs in that way. And even human beings. Now, as far as the blood clots go, I guess they're saying that it will clump up a cell by, replicating itself in the blood cells, but I'm not sure if blood cells have ACE2 receptors. But it is very strange, all the things that this virus can do. But it is what it is. There were other viruses that attack those, that have the ACE2 protein bullshit going on. Whatever, man. It's very interesting how these viruses, how they can attach themselves to these cells so perfectly in human DNA. But anyway, So that's the thing with that. So that was to clear up any confusion I might have had about why they're saying that the Tecate19 attacks so many systems. But y'all know. I try to give you guys as much information as I can. I don't try to like color in information or try to skew information in one direction or another. If I find out any information that goes against what I might have told you, I will come back and correct that. That's how I roll. But, you know, in terms of the Tecate19, we know your boy Trump has flip-flopped a lot with this Tecate19 stuff. As a matter of fact, we found out that Donald Trump downplayed the danger of the Tecate19 from the beginning, okay? There was leaked audio of him saying, oh, you know, I know how dangerous it is, blah, blah, blah. I downplayed it, and I will continue to want to downplay it because I don't want to create panic, this, that, and the third. And this goes back to when the representative republic, or the representative constitutional republic that we have, it goes back to why that was established in the first place, because the elites that wanted to run everything, they felt like the regular folks, right, were too dumb to make their own decisions. They, you know, if we allow pure democracy to rule the land, then these people are going to make dumb decisions for themselves. They're not smart enough to look ahead and make smart, correct decisions. This is why Trump would downplay it, to make us feel better about life, because he feels like we don't have the strength or the fortitude to handle some real shit, being told the truth about what the Tecate19 does and how dangerous it is. He decided to hold that back from us because he feels like he's our parent and he knows what's best for us and what we handle. And that goes against this idea of the human spirit, right? Or the American spirit. There's no American spirit if your leaders and your rulers think you're too dumb to make your own decisions, think you're too dumb to know the truth. And that's how they get away with riding roughshod over us all these years.
Continue on.
That's why
05.
they allowed in 1913 the Federal Reserve to take over our monetary system. You know, because of a crash, because of economic turmoil. Oh, well, we can come in and we can handle everything. What they did was they handed the keys to the kingdom over to bankers. And what bankers want is more wealth, more resources. They want to loan money to people, create these interest rates that tie people in forever. Now you get a credit card. You're paying that. It takes you forever to pay $2,000 off because of the interest rate. You're allowing the balance to stay high, so the interest rate goes up and up and up. It accumulates. And if you don't pay that sucker off fast enough, boom, you're stuck with paying interest on these credit cards. That's basically what the Federal Reserve is doing to the entire country in terms of the monetary system. They keep printing out this fiat currency. They print it out until it has zero value. And guess who has to pay for it? They keep printing money. They keep quantitative easing. You know, now they got QE infinity going on. They want to continue to pump money into the market to artificially prop up the economy. So who's going to pay for that? Well, our children are going to pay for it. All right? Our children are going to pay for it. Our children's children are going to pay for it. And their children's children are going to pay for it. And that's why in the earlier live, I talked about real money. Real money. This is a $5, this is a 5 gold back, okay? It's not a $5 bill. It's a 5 gold back bill. All right? This thing is 1/200th of an ounce of gold. All right? This answers This solves the problem of keeping gold that no one will want to exchange for. Because if you give someone a 1 ounce gold coin for something of little value, something that's not nearly going to cost 1 ounce of gold, then they're going to have to give you change, a buttload of change in return for that 1 ounce coin and for whatever you bought. So get a hold of sound money. I suggest that you guys go. I'm not a finance person. All I know is I prefer tangible money over air money. Okay. So I suggest you guys go out and seek some of this out, man, because this will really make a difference. If the market crashes, if the dollar goes to shit, this will not go to shit. It can't go to shit. It can't, because this is a real store of value. You will be able to use this when all else fails. When they go to all digital currency and you can no longer make private transactions because they're going to stop printing money. They're already talking about a coin shortage. There's a reason for that. They're talking about a coin shortage. Well, what do they use to make the coins? Zinc, nickel, these different metals that aren't really worth shit. So, I mean, even that is finite. So they want to get rid of all that. They want to get rid of cash, and they want to get rid of coins. And that's going to severely limit our freedom. We won't be able to do anything without using digital currency. And that's why I say, learn a skill, learn how to be valuable to other people, learn how to create goods that are valuable to other people, and use sound currency that is going to have true value. Use real money. This right here. Don't use it right now, right? But in Utah, you can use this at the store. It's guaranteed in Utah, right? To use, like, say you want to go to Target and use this, you can do it. Not in California at Target, but that's okay, because if you want to make a private transaction from a person to another person, from you to another person, you can use this as long as they know that it has value. And if they have a brain in their head, they'll know this has real value. You won't even have to convince them. Okay. Anyway, so go out and make yourself valuable. Exchange that fiat currency for something real. All right. Anyway, so now you got. They want you out of the rural areas. They want you crammed in the mega cities. They want you to take the vaccine. They definitely want you to take the vaccine, and make no bones about it. Donald Trump wants you to take the craccine as much as anybody else. Donald Trump wants you to take the Tecate19 craccine as soon as it comes out. Now you got Ivanka Trump going on The View talking about, I'll take the Tecate19 vaccine right here on the air live to prove to you that I know that it's safe. Question is this: how do we know it's going to have the actual craccine in it? Do we really know that for sure? Are we going to take the word of Ivanka Trump? Are we going to take the word of Donald Trump? Donald Trump said he'll be the first or the last to take it, whatever the case may be. But here are some key things that Donald Trump has said about the Tecate19 craccine that should really strike a nerve in his supporters. He should not have any supporters after he has said this. But because he's Donald Trump and we have this whole cult going on because of cognitive dissonance, because your leader can do what he wants, but my leader can't, whatever the case may be. Your ruler can get away with it, but he's my favorite ruler, so he can do whatever he wants. This fool said that when the Tecate19 craccine comes out, he's going to have the full might of the military to help administer the craccine. Let me ask you something. Is that the role the military is supposed to play in this country? Is the military supposed to go around administering vaccines to the American people on American soil? Not only did he say that he would have the U.S. military to help administer vaccines, but he'll use the full might of the military. Why would you need to use the full might of the military to give or to administer the vaccine to the American people? If that right there isn't enough to make you want to turn your loyalty away from Trump and start focusing on self-sufficiency, independence, you know what I mean? True freedom, then you're lost. I don't know what to tell you. Especially those of you, those people out there who say, "Oh, I ain't gonna wear no mask. I ain't taking the vaccine." I'm talking about right-wing pundits and bloggers and completely on the right, completely bought in. They're talking about how they're not taking the craccine, how they're not going to wear a mask. What happens when Trump signs a mandate that dictates that you have to take the craccine? What you gonna do then? Because you let it go far enough for it to reach his desk, right? You let it go far enough for it to reach his desk. You let it go far enough for him to be able to sign the damn thing into law. So what you gonna do now? Because guess what? You're a law-abiding citizen, right? You're an LAC. You don't go against the law no matter what, right? Well, now, what you gonna do? I don't know. I know what I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna say that right now. I know what I'm not gonna do. And I have a feeling that you guys know what that is, okay?
In 2 miles, the exit on the right.
So, I just want to know what y'all got. If there are any Trump supporters in the stream right now, what are you going to do? And you don't want to take the craccine. What are you going to do when Trump mandates that every American gets administered the craccine? What you going to do? You still going to support Trump? Well, you know, you got some people out there in academia that think it's a good idea. But maybe we should give people $1,000 to take the craccine. Give them $1,000 because we know they're desperate. We know they could use the money. So why not give them $1,000 each? So why not try the honey and the shit? Let's do the honey and the shit at the same time. Right? Because we need every American to take the craccine. Otherwise, this Tecate19 is going to kill everybody in America, right? Because it's done a good job of doing that so far.
Next exit on the right, and then left turn.
Right? So what are we going to do? Oh, shit. Forgot to get gas. What are you going to do? Anybody tell me. Trump comes out and says, you guys have to take the craccine. And he said that. He said, everybody, you have to take it. Mind you, this is the same Donald Trump that
Next left.
blamed craccines for his son's autism. Remember that? How quickly we forget when our favorite cult of personality person flips the script. How quickly we forget where he stood before. Donald Trump changed his mind. So should I. Right? I need y'all people to get together, man. I need us to get together because the more people that are aware and willing to say no, the more people that are willing to stand up and say no, the better off we'll be.
Proceed about 3
And that goes across
Main Street.
every scenario, right? Take, for instance, the situation with this kid who got suspended from school for 5 days because a toy gun flashed across the screen during a Zoom meeting. The school staff immediately called the police. They didn't call the parents and say, hey, what's with that firearm that your son got passing across the screen right here? No, they called the police. The police showed up to the house. You got these schools telling the teachers to essentially spy on you, see what's going on in the house while you're teaching these children. See, now they have an in to your castle. They have entered your castle via the Zoom meetings. They have entered, and without your permission, well, at least in this instance, without the parents' permission or even giving them the knowledge of this, they sitting up here checking your house out. They're recording. They're recording what's going on in your home. I mean, come on. So in this instance, the more parents that stand up and say, you know what? I'm pulling my child out of this school system. I'm going to do homeschooling my way, using my curriculum. I don't need y'all. Imagine if even 25% of the parents said that. What? Just 25%. Imagine what change we could bring. Imagine how scared they'd get, because it could start with 25%, then it could trickle on up to 30%, to 40%, to 50%. That'll get their attention. That'll let them know we serious about our children.
In half of a mile, right turn.
We have to be able to look. Who's willing to stand up and say hell no to that crack scene? You know what I'm saying? They don't want to pay people $1,000 to take the flu crack scene. They don't want to pay people $1,000 to take the rubella, the pneumococcal, and all this other shit crack scene. Why the Tecate? Why are they trying to pay people $1,000? Or not, you know, right. That it's an idea that was broached. Why are they trying to do that with the Tecate19? Why is it so special? Oh, because it's the third leading cause of death in the country? Okay. Listen, people, we gotta pull our heads out of our asses, man. But first, we gotta pull our ass out the sand. All right. Right now, our heads are up our asses, and our asses are in the sand. And you got a double blind effect going on here.
Make a legal U-turn.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the reality of it. We're so stuck on stupid that they can continue to do whatever they want. They can tell us what they're doing. They can give us a line by line bullet point motherfucking what they call that thing? Spreadsheet. They give you a spreadsheet with bullet points. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. This is how we're infringing on your rights. This is how we're going to manipulate you. This is how we're going to poison your water with fluoridation and all that. They're telling us what they're doing. They're telling us what they're doing to us, and we sitting up here acting like, oh, well, you know, Donald Trump, oh, Hillary Clinton, oh, yeah, you know, Joe Biden really is there for us, Kamala Harris, but none of these people give a shit about you. All right, I can stop. I can look at the reason this that sound logic won't work is because they already succeeded with the division, so it will be hard to unify to go against something. I was going to open up with the Tecate bug joke, but I was 99.6% you wouldn't get it. Honey covered shit. I mean, yeah, that's funny. A thin layer of honey on a pile of shit. That's what Trump is. I know. Trump, that's what Trump is. Trump is a pound of shit with a teaspoon of honey drizzled and spread across it. Okay? Sprinkle some chocolate, chocolate sprinkles on there, and you got yourself a fucking shit show. All right? This guy can do it. He said it. He said he can go in the middle of the street and shoot somebody, and his supporters will still support him.
Turn ahead.
And I thought it was a joke. I was like, yeah, this guy really think he that shit. But he must be, because guess what? He's got the gun to our heads right now. He's got the guns to our heads right now. And he about to pull that trigger, man. When that Tecate bug craccine come out,
on the right,
he about to pull that trigger. And he's going to use it. He's going to use a military trigger finger to pull that motherfucker. All right? A military trigger finger. He's talking about using the military to help administer the craccine to Americans on American soil. Where are your conservatives at? Who's Alex Jones, where he at with it? Why ain't he talking about this? Steven Crowder. What's that little annoying Jewish dude's name? Ben Shapiro. Tim Pool, who's now fully bought in. He's fully bought into the right. He's fully bought into the Trump personality disorder. He's bought in, or he's sold out to help buy other motherfuckers in. Fence sending milk toast my ass. Where's ABL? Talking about this. Brandon Tatum. All these guys. Well, Tim Pool, he's for vaccines actually. But all these cats, all these conservatives, I'm not taking the craccine, I'm not wearing no mask. Sell a mask on their website. Don't mind Trump saying that he's gonna use the military to administer craccines. None of that. They ain't got no problem with none of that. Imagine if Obama did that. Imagine if Hillary Clinton did that. Imagine if Joe Biden came out and said, if you make me president, I'll use the military to administer craccines to every American. Can you imagine the shitstorm he would get from the right? It would be like nothing you've ever seen. But Donald Trump does it. It's okay. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to cape for him lying about the Tecate19 in the first place and the dangers of it. No, I'm going to cover this, that. I'm going to cover some bullshit. Every little piece of bullshit that comes out. All right? And help me understand how Candace Owens, I need you people on the right to help me understand this. How is it that y'all believe that Candace Owens won the battle between herself and Cardi B? Trump is just the perfect Trojan horse to con the conservatives. He's an actor. Of course. The reason that sound logic, okay. I guarantee the first time someone gets a shot, all hell will break loose. Trump is just the perfect, yeah. You should watch this video on Valuetainment about this book called Harbinger. I think you would find it interesting concerning the state of America. Spicy Kai was good. Explain to me. Explain to me how Candace Owens won the battle against Cardi B. Explain to me how listen, if anything, Cardi B won that battle. You know why? What was the whole problem Candace Owens had in the first place? The pit they dig for us, they themselves will fall into, is written. Yeah, it will happen like that, because despite the division, despite the cognitive dissonance, the level of cognitive dissonance going on, there's still people waking up more and more every day. So how did Candace Owens win? how did it start in the first place? It started because Candace Owens had a problem with Cardi B interviewing Joe Biden because she's not political. She's politically ignorant. This, that, and the third. She's illiterate. She said she was illiterate. So you know this woman can't read? Anyway, from what I understand, I think Cardi B went to college, but you know, I could be wrong on that. So you sit up here and chastise Cardi B for not knowing shit about politics and interviewing Joe Biden, but then you, who's supposed to be this supreme political goddess, go after Cardi B about political shit? So you brought yourself down so low to someone who don't know shit about motherfucking politics.
Next right.
To harass and harangue this woman. And you think you won something? Joe Biden is not even your candidate. Why are you concerned? You should be like, I'm going to let this crack. I'm going to let them see how foolish it is to allow this politically ignorant woman to interview Joe Biden. But see, this is where they have lost their connection with reality, and they are disconnected from society. They're detached, these people, because someone like Cardi B is exactly who you want to address Joe Biden, right? Because we're the ones who are going to be greatly affected by the decisions he makes. So if we see Cardi B, someone who's not really political, going out and asking these questions of Joe Biden, even though you might think they're silly questions, right? Oh, what about these taxes? And the way she said this, that, and the third, all that. The average person can be like, you know what? Maybe if Cardi B is more involved and more aware of politics, being who she is, maybe I should do the same thing. Maybe she can spark interest in other normal human beings that don't know much about politics. Maybe it can help spark their interest in politics now because Cardi B done did it. Because let's face it, in this world, in this country that we living in, there are a lot of followers that will take up an idol, right? Like Cardi B, and use them as an example. I should do this like Cardi B. I should buy these clothes because Cardi B did. I should get my long ass fingernails like Cardi B did. I should go because Cardi B does. I should get to my shmoney like Cardi B. It's the influence. So you shitting on Cardi B for trying to get involved in politics. Oh man. Well, at least two of you guys stuck around. Yeah. Let's see. Faith is me. I'm not sure if that was the reason, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, you know, YouTube does what it wants to do. It's a private company. They do their thing how they want to do it. You know what I mean? They need to be careful that they're behaving like a publisher and not like a motherfucking platform. You understand what I'm saying? This is an example. Depending on who's showing it, violence is okay. You can show violence on YouTube as long as you're the right person showing the violence. Okay? To me, that sounds like a publisher. To me, it sounds like, oh, well, this content creator can do this and you can't. We're going to pick and choose what we're going to show. So once you start doing that, you become a publisher, and then you should be responsible when lawsuits happen. I mean, you know, that's what Trump needs to get going. That's what he said is going to get going. I don't know what happened with that. I think he got too focused on using the military to force everyone to take vaccines. But anyway, so what was I saying, man? It's we have a problem, okay? Like I was saying with Cardi B. If you want people who don't know about politics to have these conversations with these politicians so they can gain an understanding on what it's about. But y'all shitting on Cardi B for interviewing Joe Biden. When I see, if I were bought into the left-right paradigm, I would be like, oh man, I would applaud that. I'm like, look, man, she's pioneering something. Maybe we need to get more non-political people with real feelings and real thoughts and who live normal lives, who might not know much about politics. We need to get more of these people out there asking these type of questions of these politicians, real questions, not questions about motherfucking bullshit, right? Questions about things that really affect them, and not just in a town hall where you get to raise your hand, and you get to ask one question. No, maybe random people. We need to get more involved with in what our so-called leaders and our so-called representatives are doing, and what Cardi B was doing should have been held up as a perfect example of that. If you're bought in to the left-right paradigm line, right? So what Candace Owens did is basically she shat on some of her supporters. They just don't realize it. It's like her saying, being so damn condescending as to say, you know what? You don't have the right to talk to Donald Trump. You don't have the right to talk to Joe Biden and ask him questions because you don't know shit about politics. Well, what kind of shit is that? That's what Candace Owens supporters should have seen in this whole thing. Instead of saying, "Ooh, look who won this thing and that thing," and she's up there with bunnies and mocking and all that shit, the ad hominem attacks toward Cardi B, because she done drug y'all by her coattails through the bullshit, attacking another woman who is trying to, gain some understanding about what that candidate can do for her and her people. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to go out there and shit on her because you feel like you have the political high ground, right? Because I'm political. I know this. I know that. You don't know this. You don't know. I know. Like, this is bullshit. And we should have seen right through that, right? I saw through it. That's why I said Candace Owens destroyed herself in that battle. She lost the battle on her own just by going after Cardi B for something like that. Instead of trying to educate Cardi B, instead of saying, you know what, Cardi B, let me ask you something. How about I take you under my wing and I help you understand politics so that you can better attack or tackle these questions with these candidates. Instead, you want to shit on the woman, right? See, that's how these conservatives operate, man. if you don't think like them and all that, if you don't operate on the same wavelength that they feel they are on, they will shit on you and they will chastise you, and all this other shit. Just like people on the left. People on the left do the same shit, man. People on the left do the same shit. And that's why there's so much division. It's not just the mainstream media causing division, it's us, right? Because we think we're better. Well, I'm better than you because I know this much about this, and I have the moral high ground because I'm a conservative, and and I don't like gay marriage, and like, you think you're better than somebody. How's my sound? How's my sound?